Sometimes you gotta pop out and show ninjas, certified boogeyman. I'm the one that up the score on you. Good morning, Boozy Boo Ties. Look, my voice is cracking. I wasn't gonna even work today, but I'm gonna pull a short day today so that my life isn't crazy next week. Um, it's the day after the 4th of July. Now, look, I was on the TikTok this morning. I was trying to decide if I was even going to go in. And I'm like, nobody will be in there. I'll knock out a couple things and roll out. You know, Kendrick Lamar came out with this video for his Not Like Us. Let me just say for the record, so I watched it several times this morning because, I was just lying in bed enjoying the TikTok. And I just want to say this. Aubrey, Aubrey, listen, Aubrey Graham, listen. If you are not getting therapy, you need to go find therapy right away because, look, I like the song. Now, look, I'm an East Coast girl, okay? But it doesn't mean I can't like stuff. And we're enjoying it here on the East Coast. Obviously, out on the West Coast, they're really enjoying it. And it's like the West Coast hype song. And to be honest, I like the song. It is a true hype song. It's a fun song, right? Now, I'm not as emotionally invested in it as maybe those who are on the West Coast or anybody. Well, for one, because I'm old now. And two, I like the song. The song is a bop, okay? But to get a whole country, well, let's just talk about the West Coast. I won't even say country. We'll say the West Coast. To get a whole group of people, whether you're at a concert, he did that pop up or pop out concert or whatever. And to get the whole area, state, the hip hop community, the West Coast, the every coast. I'm like, they are continuing to put this man in the grave. I can't stop laughing. Aubrey, are you okay? Are you okay, Aubrey? For those of you who don't know who Aubrey is, because I don't know, I need to see who my that demographic is. I think my demographic is my age. I need to check the analytics. But Aubrey Graham, I didn't even know until all this came out that Drake's name was Aubrey Graham. That is how far removed I am from a lot of this stuff. But they are bodying Drake. I mean, Drake needs to go get some. I thought the video was really cute. The way they started with the one girl, she was sitting in the chair and she gets up and starts crip walking. I'm like, yes, honey, do it again because I can't crip walk. I can't talk. Crip walk. I think I can. I tried to. I look silly, but I thought it was cute. Kendrick is definitely an artist, for sure. But anyway, I just wanted to say I thought that was really interesting how he was able to galvanize a group of people, just like how he was able to get people like the whole Crips and the Bloods together at the pop up or pop out concert to be able to get a group of people who historically have not gotten along to just galvanize a whole group of people. I think that says something. I'm talking about next year for sure. I think there has to be some sort of award or something for this guy because what he did for hip hop culture in 2024 is pretty darn impressive. It is pretty darn impressive the way he was able to come out with all his diss tracks and everything like that. Like he leveled that whole game up. Like he took it to a whole. He revolutionized how you do diss tracks. Now people know if you're gonna diss somebody, you gotta have like about 100 like tracks in the chamber, and like you gotta be super clever and witty and all those things. Your wordplay has to be like phenomenal. But anyway, I just want to say shout out to Kendrick Lamar and how he continues to put Aubrey, aka Drake, in the grave. Because, like I said, the way he was able to galvanize a whole group of people, the way he was able to revolutionize how you do a diss track, and to get a whole group of people to come together. People typically don't even get along. And now people are at pop out concerts, crip walking, you got celebrities. I was like, and then he did this video, and I'm like, Kendrick Lamar is a true artist. But let me just segue for a second into something that I shouldn't find this funny, but it gave me a little bit of hee haw. But I just wanted to make a comment. So, while I was TikToking, um, I noticed that there's beef in the gymnastics world. I'm like, yo, gymnastic girlies are beefing. And when I saw what it was Michaela Skinner. I'm not sure if any of you guys know who she is, but she was on the previous Olympic team. I was surprised that she was selected, to be honest. But she's beefing with the gymnastics girlies, basically coming out talking about how they're. I think she was basically trying to call out their work ethic and all sort of stuff. She's basically saying that their people are more concerned about mental health than. Oh, I'm like, what? Who told her that was a good idea? Who told her that was okay? I'm sitting here thinking, like, you're sitting here questioning the work ethic of these other athletes. And I'm like, this is why they're injured. It's because they're probably overtraining. You've got two ladies who were probably going to make the, like, definitely Charlize Jones and Sky Blakely, who were unable to make this Olympics because of injuries. Kayla DiCello was another one that was going to be a serious contender to make the Olympic team. And all these ladies are out due to injury at the trials. If anything, there's probably, now I'm not in their camp, I don't see their workout regimen daily, but if I'm looking at what's happening, I'm thinking like there's a little bit of bad luck and a little bit of overtraining happening. Um, yeah, I remember the gymnasts now are a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger too, so they're carrying more muscle mass and everything. And so all of these skills and everything that they've introduced into their repertoire, it's going to take a toll on their bodies. So to listen to Michaela Skinner, who was fortunate that Simone Biles withdrew last year, because I don't know how she would have won a silver medal, and I think she won on vault. I'm just kind of like, check. Like, no one was ever checking for Michaela Skinner, right? I mean, I'm sure her friends and family, but I think what stands out the most is for her to sit there and go after the American gymnasts right before the Olympics. I don't see how that's very patriotic or anything like that. To sit there and to get on all these women who have realized the dream of competing at the Olympics right before the Olympics, and now you want to tear down a whole program, a whole group of women. It sounds like there's a little bit of FOMO or jealousy. She's talking about she should have come back out of retirement. There's no way she would have been selected. Nobody was looking at Michaela Skinner. Now, as a fan of gymnastics, I never took gymnastics. Let me just say this. So, but I do, follow gymnastics somewhat. I just kind of felt like, what a crappy thing to say about these young ladies. You have a very talented squad of ladies going to the Olympics. You've got people who had to deal with a lot. Look at the comeback of Sunisa Lee. They call it Suni Lee. Look at Simone Biles' comeback. Look at Sky Blakely, who made a comeback and got injured again. Okay? So I just kind of felt like this Michaela Skinner is is running her mouth. I mean, she is flapping her gums, and apparently Simone Biles is like, some people don't should just not have a microphone or a platform. And she's right. I say that all the time when I look through my social media and I see a bunch of dudes up there talking about the gender war. That happened again this morning. It's a total sidebar. I was in the mirror trying to figure out how I was going to do something with this situation on my head. And I had my iPad on while I was doing the situation the best I could. Because, yesterday it was puffy and, it was humid and everything. And I was scrolling and I saw this. I don't know who these guys are. It was the first time. But I'm sure they're pretty popular because it was called, say, like Food Gazy or something. I'm like, what is, what is now? And I think the title of the video was called Feminist, Feminist, I forgot. It was basically, they're trying to say feminist destroys Fugazi. I don't remember what the title was. And I guess my better judgment, I clicked on it, which means now I got to go scrub my. And it was the dumbest podcast. These dudes were literally trying to argue with three women over who has higher standards or more standards. And I was like, this is so dumb. And the guys are constantly trying to talk over these women. This is why I say they should. You got to take away some of these microphones and podcasts or these dudes. It was so dumb. I had to click out of the video. I was like, this is the dumbest conversation. Anyway, back to my point. So Simone Biles is like, some people shouldn't have a microphone on the platform. I think she tweeted it. I don't Twitter, so I'm only going by what people, because several people had reported on it. So I guess they took a snap of her Twitter, and then some other comments. And apparently, from what I hear, I didn't verify because I don't know how much I care. It's just entertaining. All of the gymnasts from this Olympics and the past Olympics have stopped following Michaela Skinner. Michaela Skinner, like I said, I just never was a big fan of this young lady. Something about her just wasn't my cup of tea. Um, and for her to get out there and to tweet these things and talk so bad about another gymnast, to sit there and question their work ethic and everything like that when people are clearly or probably overworking and now they're getting injured. And people who may have been scarred in the past by the guy who's in jail or not, you don't know what people have gone through, and to sit there and question the fact that they want to take care of their mental health. I was like, this is a psycho situation. But anyway, apparently she took down her video and then put up a new video and said that people misunderstood her. I don't know. I don't care, but I just thought it was funny that the gymnastics girlies are setting it off. And let me just end this with, um, we're going to talk about Mr. Smith, Mr. Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith gets out there on his podcast and basically he shared his comments on O.J. Simpson being recognized, I guess, at the BET Awards towards the end, as far as all the greats that have passed on, something like that. Now, let me just say this. I did not see the BET Awards. I didn't know they came on until after people started reporting on it. I'm not a big award show girl. Like, I don't know. I'm past all that now. So I was like 1 or 2 days late and $1 short. But anyway, so people are reacting to Stephen A. Smith, and this is what my thoughts are based on his comments that the BET show should not have recognized O.J. Simpson because of, I guess, because even though he was acquitted from the murder of Nicole Simpson, I guess he was found liable in a civil suit, and he wants, sorry for yawning. He wants black people to be more mindful of the kinds of things that are being said and promoted on the BET network, even though it's owned by Paramount, even though it's owned by white people. He wants them to be more concerned about what they're promoting out there, because we need to be aware of how we come off to other people. There's so many ways of, I don't want to say attacking it, but this is my thing. We pick and choose all the time on the people that we want to promote. So did we not want to give tribute to Michael Jackson? I mean, he was involved in scandal, right? So should we not appreciate his work or whatever? What's the level of scandal? Where is the line drawn, right? Do we not recognize the greatness of Whitney Houston? I mean, she clearly had substance abuse issues that she denied or whatever. Would we, where do we draw the line? Because if they were to, um, well, his whole thing is like, well, he didn't even want to deal with the black community. I'm like, well, neither does Tiger Woods, but y'all sit there and still love up on Tiger Woods. I mean, the way I look at it, look at all you got to do is go into the sports world. They don't even like black women half the time, right? So I'm like, where's this line drawn? Because if you're going to start drawing lines, you're going to start running out of a whole lot of people that you can, you know, laud and applaud and exalt or whatever it is, right? So let me just say this. I personally could care less whether or not O.J. Simpson was recognized, but the fact that they recognized him, I'm just kind of like, it is what it is. He was a great football player. He didn't like being around black people. He had his issues with his own blackness. And there's always that question mark whether or not he did anything. He was acquitted of the murders, just like Kobe Bryant was not found to have sexually assaulted the chick. So at this point, everyone has chosen to move on with Kobe Bryant. He didn't like black women, right? Look at O.J. Simpson. He was acquitted of murder. He didn't like black women. I'm like, where's the line drawn? Where's the line drawn? Look at Michael Jackson. He has not been found to be guilty of anything wrongdoing with children. And the first thing he did was found somebody or adopted children that did not look like him. Heck, he changed his own skin color. Does that mean he wasn't still great? I'm just saying. Call it a day. So I'm just kind of like, look, we got to figure out where that line is drawn. Where do we draw the line with Bill Cosby? Do we separate his greatness? I mean, he was not a good guy, but he was let out because of statute of limitations. I forgot why he was let out of jail. I think it was because of they weren't allowed to put him in jail, or I don't know. I don't remember. I don't know. I just feel like for Stephen A. Smith, I think that his opinion, I get it because he's so used to having to be worried about what other people think because he's taking their money. So, but I feel like this. If we had our own network, if we had our own manufacturing, if we had our own banks, if we had our own everything, we wouldn't have to worry about what other people think, right? We would be fully autonomous. Well, I don't know if anyone can truly be fully autonomous, right? Because the world is so interconnected that everybody needs everybody for something. But if we had our own banks and in schools, and because everyone says that we have the HBCUs, but someone pointed out to me that HBCUs they're not owned by black people. They were started by others. I feel like if we had our own schools and banks and manufacturing systems and I don't know, hospitals and that thing and networks, right? Then we would be able to not feel as if we have to engage in like identity politics and do you understand what I mean? Like we won't have to do that. But because Stephen A. Smith has to take their money, and let me just say for the record, if somebody says, "Oh well, we have that kind of stuff," I'm like, "Well, no, we don't," because Roland Martin has a news show, but he's still using somebody else's platform. I want to be clear. When people were upset because of Kanye West, like they're trying to take away his billionaire status. I'm like, everybody keeps talking about how much of a genius he was. I'm like, no, he wasn't, because he was still using their manufacturing platform, but letting out his name. He was using their banking system. He was using their social media. So when they blocked him from social media and they said, hey, your money was no longer welcome here at JP Morgan Chase Bank or whatever. And when they said, hey, your stuff is no longer good here, you could, I think they even keep his name, or they could take your name back too. Instead of investing in that infrastructure and such, he just wanted to just slut his name out, so to speak. So where I'm going with Stephen A. Smith, you're so busy, or he was so busy being concerned about we got to be careful of how we present ourselves and what we stand for. I'm like, well, we didn't even stand for keeping our own network in the first place. We sold it to Paramount. I'm like, so where are we going with this? Where's the line really drawn? So you didn't want them to recognize Orenthal? I mean, they didn't even spend that much time on it, for what I understand. I think it was like a little blip towards the end. And the people are going to think what they want anyway. We're going to have to get past that. Okay. So, I don't know. I don't know. I may not be on the right side of this. These are my opinions. That's just where I'm at with it. All right. Go ahead, leave a comment. That's all I got.
And make sure you subscribe.